Hey everyone, thank you once again for tuning in. You know what it is, the Iconist Podcast. And like usual, one of your hosts here, Barry 3D for Deep Dark Delicious. The joke is still going in 2023. Thank you. If you need to know where to find me, it's very simple at barry3d.com. You can see the links down below. Find all my socials, add me there. And like usual, like, subscribe, and share. Don't let the show be a secret. Let's go. Now, like usual, I can't do this show alone. You know I never do this show alone, and by always, I have my best friend, my cousin, the DJ, the man, the myth, the legend, the champion of the people, and he plays the music that makes the booty shake in 2023 in the new year, going forward every Wednesday on Twitch. Who am I talking about?
Talking about me. I go by the name of DJ Rod C. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Icon.
Yes.
We won't get there. We'll get there. Hold on. Let's go for the normals.
All right, let's go through the normals. So first and foremost, Rod, where can they find you? I know I already said Twitch, but let them know where.
Listen, you can find me on the world of Twitch. You can find me at twitch.tv/DJ Rod C. But you also can find me on the world of the internet, on the place they call the I and the G, the Insta and the Gram, at Mr. Rod C. Listen, I'm all over. We're having some fun. Come on, true, as Barry said, got my show on Wednesday, got my shows on Mondays, I got my shows on Sunday. Say in reverse order to see if you're paying attention. I see that you are. Let's go.
So you got a show on Monday. You got a show on Wednesday.
Got a show on Wednesday. I got a show on Sunday. But listen, we're ever growing.
You ain't got no show on Saturday? No Saturday love?
We got Saturday love. Don't worry about it. Those are opportunities that just pops up. We got different shows on the Saturday, but don't worry. As a side note, I don't know if you saw it. The last time we talked, I had a show on a Saturday, and I brought up Saturday love, and I said every single time, oh, where is Barry? Oh, Barry, just letting you know I'm playing your song right now.
Man, I know. And I was out there. I was out and about, man. And yeah. So I kind of failed my cousin on that one by not showing the support. So don't be a barrier. Show the support for all the people out there in your life. Life is going by too quick. Gotcha. And of course, on top of that, the man that makes us look so pretty has us with all the information on the screen. We go kick it off because in the new year, it's still the same old crew, same old G, the one and only.
Like that. DJ Digital Art.
That's right.
Let's go.
That's right. Jason Reeves, DJ Digital Arts. If you need any work done from templates to you said DJ, didn't you?
I did. Sorry.
We didn't know Jason's a DJ, but he's a DJ tonight.
Jay's just dying with laughter. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do an automatic repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, that actually should be saying as Jaybird Digital Art. Jaybird. Oh my goodness. Wow. That was funny. Even after I left my voice, it was like saying, you say DJ. Did I really just?
After how many episodes? And we man, sorry, Jay. I'm under cold medicine right now, and it's just one of those days. So, Jaybird Digital Arts, you need any work done, templates like ours, something along those lines. You need any kind of flyers, any kind of video or stuff done. Reach out to Jay, and he'll hook you up with some good templates, some good posters, all that stuff. And I know his wife does like photography too. So if anyone that needs headshot for anything you're doing within the arts, reach out to Jay. He'll hook you up. And if you need any kind of work like we have similar here, just mention that you heard about it on the Iconist Podcast. And Jay will give you a discount. Love it.
Save those ducats. Let's go. In 2023, we're here about saving money and reinvesting in different places. We'll have a conversation about that another time.
So on that note, exactly.
Sorry, losing it. Sorry.
On that note, we are talking about the icon is King of the Hill. Now, I know in the past, we've always got bad to saying, oh, we're going to come back and do it. And then we don't come back and do it. So now we're being more accountable for that. And we're making sure to come back and do it when we say we're going to do that. We're going to hold our promise to you. We are doing our second part of King of the Hill. And we wanted to make sure we brought something a little bit different that we did last time. Last time we were going through the characters and all that stuff. And I know we didn't cover all of them. And there's so much more to cover because me and Rod love that show.
Yo, just saying. Very interesting. There's a lot of things you can learn from King of the Hill.
Right?
About propane and its accessories. This is the way and how it's different than having gas. Gas is better than charcoal. Listen, Hank Hill will tell you the ways of good nurturing food that have better taste with propane. I'm just saying.
Oh, you know, and Mike Judge, I mean, good on you, man. You turned around, you started this show, and a lot of people didn't believe in the show at first. They didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And then sure enough, here we are, seasons later, running in syndication. It's going in reruns. The show's even on Disney Plus. Does that make Peggy Hill a Disney princess? I don't know. But maybe her and Luann could be Disney princesses.
Might be more Luann, if anything. But you know, Peggy would definitely fight for that title at the least. She'll be putting up a fight for at least to be called a princess of some sort. Or a queen at least of some sort. At least.
Let's put it this way. If Mickey Mouse knocked on for Hank Hill's door and said, hey, Hank Hill, I'm here to make a princess by giving her a crown. Right? And Luann standing there, Luann like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a princess. He's like, Luann, we know the true princess is me, but I only want to be Hank's princess, so I'll let you have it. Because Peggy Hill has got this overconfidence. Confidence. That man is walking. Kevin, who watches the show, will get that joke with confidence. If you see my boy, pretty boy Kev, walking down the street, that man walks with confidence. He wears those tight pants with his confidence. I don't care. You got to come and find me to kill me, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been busting Kevin's butt for that one for years, man. So he knows. Come on now. Y'all don't know Kevin.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Kevin knows. Kevin's laughing. Kevin got a great sense of humor. Yeah. So got that confidence. You got to have that Peggy Hill confidence in life, man. And it works. So. Right, so that's what I said. That's a discussion maybe for another time. Is Peggy Hill and Luann Disney princesses? Is Luann a Disney princess? I don't know. Put it in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk. But on part 2 of King of the Hill, we're going to talk about the genius of Mike Judge. Right now, I know a lot of people. I mean, King of the Hill. That's the hill I'm dying on. You understand that? Cotton Hill, right? So that's the hill I'm dying on. Okay. There was a joke in there. So yes, he also did that show, The Head. He did, of course, Beavis and Butthead. All right. And there's talk, and he's working on bringing back King of the Hill. We all know that. But what I didn't know, and Rod brought to my attention the other day, and I think, okay, this is why it was perfect to do part 2, was, did you all know there was a possible spinoff of King of the Hill in the works?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, Rod was scrolling through the internet like we do, came up, saw this article, said, you got to see this. I read the article and I went, hot dog. And then I turned around and I went down the article again and he goes, look for the video. I'm like, video? Went back, read the article and saw a link. Click the link. It was the spinoff from King of the Hill. Question is,
what spinoff would that have been? Interesting.
Do you know which character was the potential spinoff for King of the Hill? This was even beyond me. And I think out of all the characters they could have picked, I was floored when I saw who it was. And then I saw the show, and, it's no word of a lie. You can find the show on YouTube. We'll put the link below so you can watch it. You will listen to our show. You can go and hit the link below and watch it. It's about a 20-minute-ish episode, maybe a little bit less than that. Very rough, and it's there. So the character they were going to do the spinoff of was one of Hank's TV shows that he likes to watch, which is Monsignor Martinez. Now, if you're not sure, if you're a casual fan of King of the Hill and not like a disciple like me and Rod, you're going to say, who's Monsignor Martinez? So he shows up at times when Hank Hill is watching TV, and he's talking to Bobby and he's watching TV. There's only two things that Hank watches. It's either football or he watches Monsignor Martinez, which is a Mexican man dressed as a priest with like reflective sunglasses on. And he's always chasing down criminals, pulling out a gun and fighting them all the time. Monsignor Martinez. And you're like, okay, what am I missing here? And he even made an episode, appearance, like, because he's an actor playing a character in a show. So at one point, Peggy meets him. He's looking for a teacher that teaches kids English but he needs someone who understands Spanish. And Peggy thinks, it's like, okay, she goes and takes the job. But then, of course, what happens is Peggy thinks that just him being nice is like, he's flirting with me. He wants me to be his new wife. And Peggy Hill's confidence overrides common sense. Like he brings her flowers saying, hey, thank you so much for being here and taking care of my kids. He's an actor. Picture like Eric Estrada reaching out to a teacher saying, hey, I want you to come to the house to help my kids with English. And he's
Eric
like,
Estrada.
Yeah, man.
Go with Antonio. Just go with Antonio. How did you go to Eric Estrada?
Oh, that's true. Sorry. Look back at
Antonio.
Antonio Banderas.
No disrespect to Eric, but I mean, this is more similar to Antonio Banderas. Oh, my goodness.
I sit corrected. Antonio Banderas. So picture Antonio Banderas turns around and says, hey, I want you to help my kids in English. And then you're like, well, where? And Peggy's like, well, where's the mom? And he's like, oh, she's no longer with us. He says something along those lines. Mm-hmm. Now, he's not 100% bilingual. So his English, sometimes the tones or the words are a little bit off. So Peggy took it that the mom dead. She's like, oh my gosh. Then you find out the episode. No, she was just gone away on vacation. Yes.
Hilarious.
Right. So now elf shows do spin off of characters. And I don't know how this would have turned out. So what happened was this spin off, and I'll get more into details of it, is Mike Judge was working on it. So he filmed the full pilot. The whole pilot was filmed. Mm-hmm. He had it at his home in Texas, where he works out a studio, or a studio in Texas. He had it on the computer and he was still in the process of editing. So it was very rough. All the music wasn't there. It was just a pilot, just to show the TV networks what it could be. And of course, understand, anytime a show is a pilot, they will show the pilot to, shop it around to the networks.
Executives. Yep.
The executives, someone will say, yeah, we like it, but now let's refine it and make it more for TV so actors can change. Henceforth, you go back to Star Trek. This is why, when you watch the pilot of Star Trek, Captain Kirk is nowhere there. When they actually do the first episode, Captain Kirk is there. Right? In the pilot, it's Pike. Mm-hmm. But they still work it into the storyline after the fact of, more of Pike. So this is what it was. But then someone broke into his house. Karma will find you. Karma will find you. So this is during, King of the Hill was still going on. It was still on the air. This is like King of the Hill was still on the air at this time.
Right.
Someone ended up breaking into Mike's house and stole a whole lot of his equipment. The video was on there. He thought to himself, well, that's it. There's no way to kind of go through, do all this again. Right. He just kind of kept going with King of the Hill. He didn't try to reshoot it or nothing. It was just gone. And he goes, what can I do? I've already invested my own money into this. Right. I'm not going to redo everything again. It was just more of a financial aspect.
I was about to say, kind of like a financial loss, Just let it go for that one particular thing.
Yeah, he wrote it off. And he thought, okay, I will never see this again. Now, to the power of the internet. Mike would always hear rumblings of people saying, hey, on Reddit, oh, by the way, I saw that pilot of Monsignor Martinez, and people would discuss it on Reddit. And he would see it and he would people on Reddit, not all 100% truthful. He didn't put 100. He didn't believe it. He just said, okay, sure, whatever. Right. It's like, when toy companies like Palator Toys over in the UK, they buried their toys, the Star Wars toys, and no one knows where they are. It's like when you hear Activision turn around and buried all the ET copies from the Atari that didn't sell, and they buried them in a landfill. They're out there. Like,
Right.
is it true or not true? So he kind of put it in that kind of bucket, didn't really follow through with it and said, okay, it is what it is. And then more people talked about it. And he's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. And then one day someone's like, hey, look, man, Mike, guess what's on YouTube? Well, first of all, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, I guess it's right. We're on here. We're here.
You know, and he says it's on YouTube. Someone got a copy of it. It was going around like underground at some of the Comic Cons. Someone got a copy of it, uploaded it to YouTube. Not a grainy copy, like like you could tell it was well filmed even back then. Copy the full pilot episode, and it's a rough gem on YouTube. And he was like, "Oh, cool!" So he got to rewatch it all these years later and comment on it. And even him commenting on it, when I read the article in the interview where he's mentioning it, he wasn't bitter. He wasn't angry. He wasn't like, how dare they put it on YouTube? It's unfinished. And he didn't have that at all. He was more like, oh, it's cool. The rumors are true. It's still out there. Someone put it on YouTube. I can get to see it again. You know? So this is like it was interesting to watch. So the character, when you look at the actor that he picked, to Rod's point, yeah, he does give me Antonio Banderas vibes.
Right. Definitely from the Desperado era of his career.
Yes.
He definitely has that particular vibe.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And the humor was going to be very over the top. But here's the twist. It was live action. So if everyone's saying, well, how come he just didn't redraw it, Barry? It was live action. Mm-hmm. The spinoff was going to be live action from a cartoon.
So you know what? Let me. I'll put in some context. It's even. It's, you know, we saw it. I saw it in the notice that I saw. The notice in the article that I saw, mm-hmm. to give you a good understanding. Like for those who may not know who Monsignor Martinez is, if you think of when you see the Simpsons, whenever you see the Simpsons and you see the little parody they have of McBain. Yes. And how over the top the McBain character is type of scenario. This is basically Judge's version, his parody off of that, and that's why it's so outlandishly funny that you have this particular character again. It's funny that it's hard to think of it. Is he a bounty killer? Is he a detective? Is he an assassin? Because basically in any of the clips that he does something so in that realm. You're like thinking, Martinez is going for somebody. Oh my gosh, you're in big trouble, my friend. You're about to get the 5 across the eye. There's some serious problems coming across you right now. So it's having a live action one and having that pull from Desperados type of vibe. You can see that this could have actually turned out to something very, I'm not saying profitable, but it's something that could actually gain some traction. And basically, definitely because, again, from the spinoff of, Desperado, Dawn of the Dead, that type of era and that time, this would have definitely been a great show to see. I'm definitely sure it would have got picked up and someone would have definitely saying, oh, we're going to go with this? Or definitely as it is now turning into a cult classic that people are starting to recognize and realizing, listen, you all need to see that pilot. And who knows? Maybe he can come back to life again.
Well, King of the Hill's coming back, so there's a good possibility, right? And these things also happen. I mean, these tropes happen all the time. So look at you mentioned McBain Simpsons, right?
Yeah,
it's a parody of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
The goggles do nothing for my eyes. Trust me, everyone knows that line. Radioactive Boy, Jimmy Willikers. So you have that. We have Monsignor Martinez from King of the Hill. Mm-hmm. Even if you watch the other cartoon, F is for Family, the one loosely based off of Bill Burr's life.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
His dad watches a show, and the show he watches like something like MacGruber or whatever, and the guy is like a hardcore. He's like a Pierce Bronson kind of character on a TV show. Very similar vibes like this. You just see him for a second. It's over the top. It's got some slapstick. It's got some out there humor, some good parodies. And you're like, oh man, that's funny. And they just show it for like 30 seconds and all that. And then they move on back to the main story. So this is what the father figure enjoys. So we see out of all this stuff, Hank loves his propane. Hank loves his football. And Hank loves, Monsignor Martinez. And they'll sit there and watch it. And the only thing is in the live action that I would say was missing were the glasses.
Facts.
Like, he has longer hair, right? So he looks more exactly like Antonio Banderas, but the character wears glasses. But it's so like over. You got to take it as is. You got to take it really as a parody of what it is, and not try to connect it. The first minute or so, I'm like, okay, and then after a while, I was just dying of laughter, especially when he explains the whole thing about his wife. The guy turns around and he's like, oh, this guy, he's a drug dealer. He turned around and he assaulted my wife. And he has a flashback, and you see Monsignor Martinez walks into a room. He opens the door. He sees his wife with the main gangster that he's supposed to be hunting down. And, they're engaged in coitus, going at it. And he's like, no, what are you doing? Now, clearly, the wife is cheating on him.
Right.
Right? And even back then, how did him and the wife meet? They were doing like salsa dancing competitions. And then she went off, and then she ended up cheating on Monsignor Martinez. And he's like, no. Now, when he tells the story, the guy assaulted her, forced himself on her. But clearly, everyone can see and hear, no, she was really cheating on him. Even she answers to it. Like, he's insulting you. He's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's got his own vision, and it's just so out there. Yeah. And even when he tells a story, everyone around him is like, so in your language, you mean assault is cheating? What's this cheating about? And you mean that their bodies are raving around in a hot, lathery sweat and doing this and that? Then yes, I guess to your words, she was cheating. But my Maria would never do that. And now she's working as she's part of a cult, working at a ranch in Nevada.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if it's that ranch. Well, let's leave it if there's a real parody to the real ranch in Nevada, but we'll leave it at that.
Well, that's it, right? So to him, she's in a cult, but clearly we all know what she's doing.
Right.
And just the jokes is like, oh yeah, he gets off a plane, he goes to rent a car, he has someone picking him up from the airport, and even the guy that picks him up, there's like an action sequence that happens there at the airport. And I don't want to break it down for anybody. You really got to watch it and just sit there and going, what the hell am I seeing? But it's just so over the top. What I think is so amazing is that usually we'll have a live action. You'll see like an Avengers live action. And then Saturday morning, there'll be a cartoon on it, right? Because we can't get, the actors who do the live action to do a weekly cartoon voiceover, but people want to get more Avengers and see this. So, of course, you see the Avengers movie by Marvel, and you're like, okay. And then he's like, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers. And you're like, I'll watch that every Saturday morning because the story's kind of tying and it fills that void. This went reverse. I don't remember ever a cartoon starting off and then saying, we're doing a spin-off of one of our characters as a live action.
Well,
correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
We could think of I'm thinking of something in reverse, but prior to that was an action figure who went to a cartoon, who went to live. The other favorite, Joe.
Greatest American hero.
That could be true. another one you can say. So they're not that many. So at least the best way of saying it, they're very far in between that you actually have an actual cartoon that got flipped over. Because I'll put it this way, in that particular time frame, if you're thinking now, it's a rarity.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s. Yeah. There was in the 80s. There was at least you did your G.I. Joe, you did your He-Man, you did your Transformers. At least of the top three tiers at that point. We can think. You know what I mean? But after a while, you don't see that parody. You don't see that reverse parody anymore.
No, you're absolutely right. Now, but the only thing is, and I'm not trying to look. Oh no, I'm right. It was. Those are all main characters.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say that's why I have to pause, because they're figurines who got pulled into cartoons, who then got pulled into. That's why I paused. That's why I said there's characters. I mean, action figures went to that.
I agree with that.
So it's at least as per what you're saying, cartoons itself. There might be around, and again, it might have been just in that time frame, because after, like in the 90s and 2000s. And 2010s, I don't think anything off the top of my head where it was like cartoon anime that went that way.
Right. And the thing is, though, but that was a whole cast of characters, right? It was like all the G.I. Joe that moved together. This
Correct.
one is like literally King of the Hill.
Right.
And it wasn't like a spin-off with Dale. It wasn't a spin-off of Boomhauer,
right.
Boomhauer being a police officer, right? It was really, here it is the one, I mean, I would say, okay, if they did Boomhauer and put Boomhauer and say, okay, here's Boomhauer during the day outside of being the womanizer without his back, his back is healed.
Right.
Here he is, Boomhauer as a Texas Ranger and following his adventures, live action. Oh, I get it. Okay. Which would still be cool.
Yeah, but he's pull off a show like that. But
they can, but but my whole thing is Boomhauer is one of the four, like the main four.
Yeah.
Monsignor Martinez is in the world. It's like we watch Hank. Hank watches Monsignor Martinez, who is an actor. So it's like a show within a show portrayed by a fictional character. Right. So this is it's like taking Bumblebee Man from The Simpsons and giving him
completely
a live show, because he's not the character. If you said, oh, we're going to do a live show on, let's say, Lisa Simpson, or do a live show on Mo and make Mo a live character, you're like, okay, one of the smaller characters, give them that. You're like,
even back to McBain. McBain is a prime example of what you're saying. I completely understand. Yeah, we're watching what it is basically we are now watching the Monsignor Martinez show, as though just to make it retrocon that Hank Hill is alive, in that sense that we're in the same type of world, that if he could watch that, I can watch that at the same time and feel like, oh, I feel like I'm in Arlen, Texas, because I'm watching what Hank is watching. Oh, I feel special. There you go. And that's exactly. No, I hear exactly what you're saying.
Right. I just say out of the characters they could have told. I mean, I would have gone more with. My thought would have been, okay, let's put Boomhauer on his day job, as a Texas Ranger. Let's just go that way. That would have definitely been a cool spinoff, and still could happen too. Right? And don't take him way out of that world. I mean, in the evenings he's hanging out with Hank and all that, but during the day it's Boomhauer, Texas Ranger, and really have him, I guess, talk normal-ish at times when he's doing his job, and as soon as he's off the clock, it's like, Boomhauer, good job. Yeah, thanks a lot, man. So you're done for the shift? Yeah, man, my shift down at 5 o'clock, man. I just turned around. I'm just going to head home, man.
Like that. Yeah.
And he goes back to his gibberish talk. He's like, Boomhauer? It's like, man, when I'm off the clock, I just talk relax, man. This how I talk, man. This how I talk. No one got it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But when he's on the job, or maybe keep him the same way. But I just like the idea that he took
that would have been funny.
Cartoon and went, out of all the characters I can pick, down the rabbit hole, Monsignor Martinez.
Yeah.
Dos Condolos, or whatever he says there. Medias Condolos, or Dos. I can't. I'm not Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. We from Montreal. Nous autres parlez-vous français? Espagnol? No, that's the personne dans les États-Unis. Okay, so there we go. That was my French for the day.
Shout out to Miss Honda. Got it. Yep.
But and in fact, he's not even. So it's anyone watching this, go in there and think, as Rod said before, think Desperado with Antonio Banderas. If you haven't seen it, go back, watch that movie, enjoy it. The weekend's almost, enjoy it on the weekend. Then sit there and pull up that parody and watch that and go, Even if you watch the King of the Hill episode I tell you about, and I can't remember which season or episode it is, but it's easy to find through Disney Plus. You find that episode with Monsignor Martinez with Peggy Hill, you'll get a better, real understanding, because you'll see him as the character and you'll see him as the actor. So they shows more clips of him. And then you watch this parody, you'll sit there going, that is so over the top, but funny. I think, Rod, you're trying to track it down there for me.
I am trying to track it down. King of Flirting with the Masters. Hold on. Just keep going.
Yeah, man. So, and keep in mind, King of the Hill ran 12 seasons at this show. No, sorry. 13 seasons. And when the show was supposed to end, it didn't even have its true ending. They came back and they gave it one ending. They came back and gave it 4 more episodes to really wrap it up. So I really love the fact of all the ground they covered on this show. I'm all about the spinoff, but don't do it like a Cleveland show. Don't let the character leave the main cast. I think the best way to do it in both worlds is have the character have their own show, but still interact with the gang. Right? With Cleveland show, it didn't work for me because they took Cleveland and he moved away from Spoonerville or Spoonville, wherever, Peter's located in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
And put him in another place, another town. It was too much. They just should have, said, hey, during the day, let's follow Cleveland show. We know he was a postman. We know he has a bake shop. Okay. And then, he hangs with his buddies on the weekend. And that's more like real life, because if you look at just your friends, me, myself, or Rod, and a friend group, or anyone with your own friend group, you have your friends you'll hang out with on the weekends, maybe sometimes after work and so forth. But then you have your other people who are friends of yours that you work with every day, and you got your family involved, and that's where it ties in, right? So you got the people you work with as friends, you got your true friends that you come up with high school or elementary school or college, university, or you just met at local places and you form that bond of friendship, even if they're gym buddies. And that could be your adventures. You could have adventures at home and outside of home. So you have adventures at work and adventures at home. And King of the Hill are all home-based adventures. The only person you see mostly at his job is Hank, followed by Bill, then followed by Dale.
Yeah.
Right? Because Dale is not really, he's more flexible. He just goes up there and does his killing. That's his thing. The rest of the time, Dale's just an exterminator. The rest of the time, it's really his wife, Nancy, that goes to work every single day. But I'm talking out of the 4 guys who you see go to work is Hank gets up, goes every day to the propane shop. So he comes in the evening, hangs with his friends. Bill is on the army base. He's cutting hair. Dale is doing conspiracy theories from his basement, coming up with super bugs. And then once in a while, he comes in there to do a job, and Boomhauer, he's out with a bad back. This is why you never see Boomhauer at work, because he's on workers' comp.
Which is, as you let that sink in for half a second, in the regards of actually having a character portrayed to be out on workman comp, and it's not like it's just a one hearsay type of scenario. You're actually making a character who's that's his function. That's what happened. I'm like, wow. Never would think of having a writer, having that written in as a character as maybe a 1 or 2 time episode. Basically, that's him.
Yep.
That's him. I'm
13
like,
seasons.
wow. 13 seasons, the man being his back out, showing how long these things can take to heal. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. He's a wild boy. I tell you, Boomhauer is the man. And it's not because he's womanizing. He's home. He's on workers' comp. He's got the sports car. He lives alone. He lives that bachelor life. But, you find out he was a surfer. You find out all the wild things he used to do and still does. And he's a cop.
Hilarious.
He should know better. And he's the one that's out there like, woo! running around in his leopard Speedo.
Yep. Listen, so let me let everybody know. You can find it on season 8, the 5th episode of season 8, Flirting with the Master. Okay. That is the one that has Peggy Hill with the actor Monsignor Martinez.
Monsignor Martinez.
You can watch the actual episode again. You can find it on Disney Plus and catch it from there. But yeah, that's what we will say. That's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that one. That show was a lot of fun. So this is why we wanted to kind of follow up with King of the Hill and bring this up to everyone. I mean, and sometimes these hidden gems that just show up and you're like, wow, there was so much in that show, but I didn't know about that spinoff and that he was looking to do. That was what got me. It's someone ended up stealing it, but then again, they bring it back. And there we go. Los Dios. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to put up, this is hilarious. I love this character's look. The only thing, as I said, he looked more like Antonio Banderas, where in the cartoon, he's got short hair. And he's always got like 2 guns.
Out of nowhere. But we'll let that one go.
And he's a priest. But I think the actor really did well with the source material that he had. He turned around and it's like, hey man, you're breaking the law. He goes, me man's law? No, I only respond to God's law. Like, and they gave him a sidekick in the show. They gave him a sidekick. It was almost like, he was Tyler Everett to Black Panther. He had this sidekick who was turning around and like, man, my girlfriend was cheating on me and I got to work for this boss. Oh, someone's in my parking space. Oh, who is it? Oh, it's my boss's mom. You should go over there and tell her to move her car. No, I can't do that. Now, hold on. Let me just double park right here. I got to go and give him his laundry. Oh. And there's gunplay involved. The first scene he gets into where he's chasing down 2 drug dealers at the airport. And the reason why he does it, I can see what they're trying to do.
Right.
That's all I got to say. Anyone, I'm telling you, if you're a true fan of King of the Hill, go out, catch this episode. Keep in mind where the mind it's coming from, the world it's based on. And, you know, and of course it's it. And it's also an unfinished, it's still very rough. It's unfinished product, but it's filmed, like all the sequences were there. And we got some insight of what could have been. Right. What about you, Rod? Was there a character on King of the Hill, before you end this show, is there a character on King of the Hill that you would have liked maybe to see a spinoff of? Or could imagine one?
Let's see, spinoff. How far can we get with, you know what, for me, it would have to been like the Odd Couple type of scenario. It would have to been Bill and Dale. Like, if I'm going to do it, it'll be like an Odd Couple type of Bill and Dale, because you can't have one. You could do one to a certain degree with Dale. You can do one with Bill by themselves type. But if you put them together, for some particular reason, Dale leaves Nancy or whatever the case, but he has to do you got to do the Odd Couple type of setup, and they have to move in together. That would be the start of something that makes you like,
okay,
oh my goodness, that'd be very interesting to see. Bill being his nervous self and just being like laxy days and relaxing, and the place is not in proper up to par. And then you got Conspiracy Dale just wondering like who's coming in the house, like, you know, what I've done. They're after me now. They set certain things in motion from years ago, and this is the end result. I'm now stuck with you, and oh my goodness. And Dale, yeah, I would like to see that. I think I might want to see that.
See, if we had to do spin-offs, I would go, okay, Monsignor Martinez, okay, he opened that door. For myself personally, who would I want to see a spin-off of would be John Redcorn.
That's what this, I've thought of that. I thought of John Redcorn. But if you're going John Redcorn, you now turn that right into that's a direct line to a soap opera. That's a direct line to a soap opera life. That's
of
like,
course.
That's like Days of Our John, you know, John of Our Days, or I don't know. I don't know how it would be late.
It rains on John.
It rains on John. That would be
John Redcorn, Peggy Hill. Because
I thought of that. We know where he would go.
Right? Because we know John Redcorn is Joseph's biological father. We also know that John Redcorn has a daughter from another girl.
Correct.
That, you know, everyone else seems to know, except, you know, Joseph, and I can't remember the girl's name. And at one point they were getting closer and closer, and they were using, and Peggy was like, you know, go over there, be a third toe. It's okay to be a third person around. It's like, oh, Joseph, and I can't remember the girl's name. They're hanging out again. And Peggy's like, no, you can't let them be alone. Go, be the third wheel. It's okay to be the third wheel. Don't let them have a moment alone. Don't let them have a moment without you, Bobby. Go, Bobby, go. Because you can see they had an attraction, but they couldn't understand what it was.
Why? Because they got similarities. They were so similar in nature because of who their father were. Like both of them didn't know who their father were. So it is hilarious. And on that particular note, as well as when Dale realized that she has the similarities to Joseph, that means this child is my child. So I must have conspiracy again. They took my DNA. I was Dale.
This is what I need.
Anguish. Yeah.
I need to see more of Monsignor Martinez live action. I would love to see that. I would love to see a spinoff with John Redcorn, because, you know, he's not on often enough that if you put him in any of his own world to see how he operates, going from rock singer, you know, gotta get the money, to children's singer, and all his life, and being a faith healer, and his backstory, you know, and his dad, his mom, his, you know, the rest of his people he's always talking about. He's so proud about them. Let's see where he really stands with his people. Give me that as a spinoff. I would love to see a movie focused on Dale. Give me a TV movie or direct to DVD, like, you know, a direct streaming, like, you know, Disney Plus, and do like an hour-ish just on Dale, and on Dale doing a whole conspiracy theory. Like, he comes across in one of his conspiracy theories. He tries to tell the other guys it's real. They all brush him off like usual, but it's a true conspiracy. It actually happened. It's almost like a national treasure kind of thing. It's like, no, there's nothing written on the Constitution on the back in invisible ink, and he finds it.
Yes,
and let him go through the whole thing. You know, what being a bounty hunter and all that, go through the whole adventure, have it come to its end, and you know, and then him realizing like, this is so deep, I can't even tell the rest of the guys about it. And they're like, hey, so Dale, how was your conspiracy hunting? Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
I will add that on to, at the very end, the government realizing that Dale's getting too close and bringing him to the side and saying, you need to keep quiet or we'll erase you from existence type of scenario. And Dale's like, yeah, I'm getting a little too deep. I can't tell the boys about this. How's the conspiracy there going, Dale? Hank, no, there was no conspiracy. I thought it was something. It's not. And you have like the guys through the bushes, like, start to stink away. All right, good move. The one time the conspiracy is actual, and he's like watching people looking at him, coming out of the bushes, coming around. He's okay. He's retreating. He's stopping.
He's compliant.
Right, he's compliant. Pull back. Slowly pull back, and everybody, all I see is certain corners out of that viewpoint, bushes moving. That would be the best way to end off, and when the actual conspiracy falls into place. I was even thinking, in my God, sorry guys, we're having too much fun with this. I would think that there's a conspiracy from, you know, it ties into what you're saying. So I would just say there's something from a conspiracy from long ago that he thought that never fruition.
Yes.
But it was there. Right. And he nearly had it. And it comes back and you see, like, say 10 years later that he comes back across it again, and then realizing that he puts two and two together, and then we fall into what you're saying. Yeah, that would have been easy. That would have been nice. That means he's always been watching, because I want to make everybody understand. He's always talking about conspiracy. So it could have been, he could have been so close. He's been like one thread away from pulling something that can unravel.
Yeah.
And it's something that he slightly pulled, and it nearly unraveled like 10 years ago. And he's like, he got distracted by another conspiracy. Well, that one was right there, and people was watching. Oh, he's nearly onto us. Keep an eye on Dale. Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. And that's basically be it. So for the rest of his life, hence the reason why he's always feeling that people are watching over him, because they're like, oh, he's close again. No, sorry. Cool. And he's close again. And then he pulls a thread like, oh gosh, Dale, that file, he's back at it again. He's going deep. You got to stop him. And then we go through the national treasure to kind of think, to the point of pulling aside.
That's what I want to see. And you know what would be better? You said it one time before. I'm not sure if you remember what you said. That let it be Boomhauer. That's the one that's keeping an eye on Dale.
I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have yourself a great. It was great. This podcast is officially done. That would be hilarious.
You said it before. You were the one that came up. I was like, can you imagine if it was Boomhauer? He's not really on a back injury. It's his cover, so he can stay close to Dale because they know Dale is his friend.
I forgot I said that from last time. Yeah.
Right?
That would have been.
Just have Boomhauer saying he's been distracted. And then you still see the bushes moving away, but Dale never realizes it's Boomhauer that's trying to keep him safe. Even though he's looking
reached.
Yeah. So Boomhauer is not trying to betray him. Boomhauer is just there trying to
save him.
Secret Service is close. It's like, hey man, what are you doing, Dale? It's like, oh, I'm going over here. Instead of telling Dale go left, it's like, oh, Dale, continue. It's like, oh, Dale, I think you should go this way, because he's trying to save Dale.
Yeah. Secret Service is right there in the bushes about to jump him. My boy, you go over there. Just go to get something from the house, man. Just come with me back to the house again. Okay, cool. Safer. That, ladies and gentlemen, please remember us. We'll be consultants. We'll just add to more storyline. Just don't forget us. That's all I'm saying. Holy Toledo Batman and Uncle Jay. Let's go.
Woo! To be the man, you got to beat the man. That's all we got to say. Well, Rod, it brings us to that time. We've made it through another end of a podcast, but We are getting closer to episode 100. We are counting down. So close. So excited. Didn't think we got past 10, and now here we are. Close to episode 100. Trust me, we'll give the countdown when we're like 3 episodes away. And I don't know, we got to do something. We got to do something
to be done.
So
don't you worry.
We gonna figure it out. We can't do nothing like Australia fireworks for New Year's Eve. That was $7 million. And
I'm not in the budget. That's not within the budget.
Not within the budget. 5 tons of explosives, of fireworks. Where am I going to store 5 tons of fireworks? I'm not Batman.
That's a little coarse heat. The heat might be a little bit too much. A little bit too much for me.
Some like it hot. Okay. So yeah. On that note.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the show. Like, subscribe, share. And as I said, if you want to help the show out financially, we have a Patreon page, and we do have with some exclusive videos, and we do have a coffee page that you do like a one-time tip on either one of those. And that will really help us grow, get some more stuff for the show. Maybe get us to those fireworks that we can do for episode 100. Woo! On behalf of my man, my cousin, the man, the myth, the legend.
I go by the name of DJ Rod C. Yo!
Right on. I go by Barry3D. You can find me at Barry3D.com. This has been the Iconist Podcast, and we thank you so much for tuning in and being here with us. And remember, this whole world was started with a pencil, a piece of paper, and lots of imagination. Keep on dreaming. We out.
We out.
Ding 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 ding
ding like it hot, some 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 like it hot. Hi, hi, hi. Hi,